On or about the 6th day of May, 1843, a grand review of the Nauvoo Legion was held in Nauvoo. The prophet Joseph Smith complimented them for their good discipline and evolutions performed. The weather being hot, he called for a glass of water. With the glass of water in his hand, he said, "I will drink you a toast to the overflow of the mobocrats," which he did in a language as follows. "Here's wishing they were in the middle of the sea, in a stone canoe with iron paddles, and a shark swallowed the canoe, and the devil swallowed the shark, and him locked up in the northwest corner of hell, and the key lost and a blind man hunting for it." The next morning, a man who had heard the prophet give the toast here referred to visited the mansion of the prophet, and so abused him with bad language that he was ordered out by the prophet. It was while the two were out that my attention was attracted to them, and hearing the man speaking in a loud tone of voice, I went toward them, the man finally leaving. There were then present the prophet Joseph Smith, Theodore Turley, and myself. The prophet began talking to us of the mobbings and drivings, the persecutions we as a people had endured. "But," he said, "we will have worse things to see. Our persecutors will have the mobbings they want. Don't wish them any harm. For when you see their sufferings, you will shed tears for them." While this conversation was going on, we stood by his south wicker gate in a triangle. Turning to me, he said, "I want to tell you something. In the future I will speak in parables like unto John the Revelator." Little did I then think the prophet of the Lord would soon be slain in cold blood. Continuing, he said, "You will go to the Rocky Mountains, and you will see a great and mighty people established, which I will call the white horse of peace and safety." When the prophet said, "You will see," I asked him where he would be at that time. He answered, "I shall never go there." Your enemies will continue to follow you with persecutions, and they will make obnoxious laws against you in Congress to destroy the white horse. But you will have a friend or two to defend you, and throw out the worst part of the laws, so they will not hurt much. You must continue to petition Congress all the time. They will treat you like strangers and aliens, and they will not give you your rights, but will govern you as strangers and commissioners. You will see the Constitution of the United States almost destroyed. It will hang by a thread, and that thread as fine as the finest silk fiber. At this point, the prophet's countenance became sad, because, as he said, I love the Constitution. It was made by the inspiration of God, and it will be preserved and saved by the efforts of the white horse and the red horse who will combine in its defense. The white horse will raise an ensign in the tops of the mountains of peace and safety, where all nations may flee unto for safety. The white horse will find the mountains full of minerals, and they will become very rich. You will find silver piled up in the streets. At this time it must be remembered that it was not known that the precious metals existed either in the Rocky Mountains or in California. You will see gold shoveled up like sand. Gold will be but of little value, even in a mercantile capacity, for the people of the world will have something else to do in seeking for salvation. The time will come when the banks of every nation will fail, and only two places will be safe where people can deposit their gold and treasure. These places will be with the white horse and England's vaults. A terrible revolution will take place in the land of America, such as has never been seen before, for the land will be literally left without a supreme government, and every species of wickedness will run rampant. It will be so terrible that father will be against son, and son against father, mother against daughter, and daughter against mother. The most terrible scenes of murder and bloodshed and rape that have ever been looked upon will take place. Peace will be taken from the earth, and there will be no peace, only in the Rocky Mountains. This will cause hundreds and thousands of the honest and heart of the world to gather there, not because they would be saints, but for safety, and because they would not take up the sword against their neighbors. You will be so numerous that you will be in danger of famine, but not for the want of seed, time, and harvest, but that so many will have to be fed. Many will come with bundles under their arms to escape the calamities, and there will be no escape, only by fleeing to Zion. Those that come to you will try and keep the laws and be one with you, for they will see your unity and the greatness of your organizations. The Turkish Empire, or the Crescent, will be one of the first powers that will be disrupted as a power, for freedom must be given for the gospel to be preached in the Holy Land. The Lord took the best of the blood of the nations and planted them on the small island now called England, or Great Britain, and gave them great powers in the nations for 1,000 years. And this power will continue with them, that they may keep the balance of power, that they may keep Russia from usurping power over all the world. England and France are now bitter enemies, but they will be allied together in order to keep Russia from conquering the world. The two popes, Greek and Catholic, will come together and be united. The Protestant religions do not know how much they are indebted to Henry VIII for throwing off the Pope's bull and establishing the Protestant faith. He was the only monarch that could do so at the time, and he did it because the nation was at his back to sustain him. One of the peculiar features in England is the established redcoat, a uniform making so remarkable a mark to shoot at, and yet they have conquered wherever they have gone. The reason for this will be known by them some day. The lion and the unicorn of England is the ensign of Israel. The wisdom and statesmanship of England comes from there being so much of the blood of Israel in the nation. While the terrible revolution of which mention has been made is going on, England will be neutral until it becomes so inhuman that she will interfere to stop the shedding of blood. England and France will then unite together and come with intention to make peace, not to subdue the nation. They will find the nation so broken up and so many claiming government, still there will be no responsible government. Then it will appear to the other nations or powers as though England had taken possession of the country. The black horse will flee to the invaders and will join them, for they will have fear of becoming slaves again, knowing England does not believe in slavery. Fleeing to them, they believed would make them safe. Armed with British bayonets, the doings of the black horse will be terrible. So the prophet said he could not bear to look longer upon the scene as shown him in vision, that he asked the Lord to close the scene. Continuing, he said, "During this time the great white horse will have gathered strength, sending out elders to the honest and heart of the United States to stand by the Constitution of the United States as it was given by inspiration of the Lord. In these days God will set up a kingdom, never to be thrown down, for other kingdoms to come unto, and these kingdoms that will not let the gospel be preached will be humbled until they will." England, Germany, Norway, Denmark, Sweden, Switzerland, Holland, and Belgium have a considerable amount of the blood of Israel among their people, which must be gathered. These nations will submit to the kingdom of God. England will do it as a whole, in comparison, as she threw off the Catholic power. The nobility know the gospel is true, but it has not enough pomp and grandeur and influence for them to embrace it. They are proud and will not acknowledge the kingdom of God or come unto it until they see the power which it will have. Peace and safety in the Rocky Mountains will be protected by a cord and band of the white horse and the red horse. The coming of the 10 tribes of Israel, the coming of the Messiah among his people, will be so natural that only those who see him will know he has come. But he will come and give his law unto Zion and minister unto his people. This will not be his coming in the clouds of heaven to take vengeance on the world. The temple in Jackson County will be built in this generation. The saints will think there will not be time to build it. But with all the great help you will receive, you can put up a great temple quickly. You will have gold, silver, and precious stones, for these things only will be used for beautifying the temple, all the skilled mechanics you want, and the 10 tribes of Israel to help you build it. When you see this land bounded with iron, you may look towards Jackson County." At this point he made a pause, and looking up as though the vision was still in view, he said, "There is a land beyond the Rocky Mountains that will be invaded by the heathen Chinese, unless great care and protection are given. Speaking of the heathen, where there is no law, there is no condemnation. This will apply to them. Power will be given to the white horse to rebuke nations afar off, and they will obey. Not that they will be one with the white horse, but when the law goes forth, they will obey, for the law will go forth from Zion. The last great struggle Zion will have to contend with will be when the whole of America will be made the Zion of God. Those opposing will be called Gog and Magog. The nations of the world, led by the Russian Tsar in their power, will be great, but all opposition will be overcome, and this land will be then the Zion of our God.